Hey guys, welcome to the video. It's Simon the Watch Guy, and today we're going to be talking about something that's kind of fabled within the watch collection hobby, if you like, and it's the idea of an exit watch. What is an exit watch? How can we define an exit watch? We're going to get straight into this one. I'm not going to do any crazy intro. I've just filmed actually my watch collection, which is quite a little collection that we've got going on. Quite a nice little collection, if I may say so myself. I'm going to really quickly run through every watch I've got, and we're going to talk about why it's not the exit watch I thought it would be. Before we do that, what is an exit watch? Well, an exit watch is when you kind of realise you've got a watch collecting hobby, and you kind of start to think maybe this isn't a healthy hobby, because you're just buying watches and you're buying them in the hope that somehow you'll reach this euphoria, this nirvana, this watch nirvana, and you just you almost set yourself up for disappointment. You buy the watches, you maybe love the look, the angles, the actual texture of the strap. Maybe you do what I do and you take some links out. I've got a lovely timepiece here. I took the links out, and there's always something that stops the watch from being an exit watch. But what exactly? Let's define an exit watch. An exit watch is the final watch you'll buy that lets you get out of this crazy, madness that is collecting watches. There are people who debate whether this exit watch exists. I've never seen anybody, even on YouTube, who has had an exit watch and managed to get themselves out and kind of reverse the insanity and turn themselves sane and just have maybe one watch in the whole collection, if you can even call it a collection. The idea is to stop the madness. So I'm going to quickly run through why I thought every single watch I own would be the exit watch. So I keep picking up the 5610, the Casio G-Shock 5610. I'm just going to talk about a little bit about why I thought this would be my exit watch. This beautiful watch, and it is beautiful, I think it looks stunning. It's got that retro kind of vibe. It's got the rich G-Shock history. It dates back to the 80s, really. Well, this one has got atomic time, so if you press this button down here, it syncs itself with radio towers, and you get this is actually multi-band 6, so wherever you are in the world, pretty much you get the correct time to the second. It synchronises every day. That was, honestly guys, when I found this watch had that feature, it was borderline life-changing. I thought, I have to get this watch. It's got the nice light there, so you can actually, in the dark, you can see the time. Stopwatch, it's got a solar panel, guys, a solar panel. Ooh. When I heard this had a solar panel, I thought, right, well, I don't need to change the battery. That's awesome. But then, what stopped this being the exit watch? Why did I not stop buying watches after this? It's the strap. I'm just not 100% keen. Sometimes it leaves me with a rash. Maybe I'm allergic to the material. I do have quite sensitive skin. So anyway, that was that one. Let's move on. Let's get right through this collection. Let's move these watches out of the way. We're going to go through all of them quickly. The F91. Why isn't this my exit watch? Well, again, it's kind of the band. And I know you guys are going to say, just stick it on a NATO, but I don't know. I don't really like the look of the NATO on some of these Casio watches, unfortunately. So I don't know. And then the other thing is, it's fantastic. It just only has one alarm, and I'm thinking, well, I love the stopwatch. I love it so easy to set. It's got a 7-year battery life. It's got so much to love. But that noise, you can't turn off that noise, the beep, and the band. I'm going to have to buy another watch. So I bought myself this one. And I thought maybe, I don't know if this is an exit watch. I didn't really, I'll be honest. I didn't buy this thinking it's an exit watch. But very easily scratched. There are actually, if you can, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera. There are some very fine scratches. I don't even think the camera's picking them up. But I know they're there. So I'm going to have to buy another watch. So I bought myself the AE1200. I always forget the name of this one. Yeah, AE1200. Beautiful watch. Casio Royale. The Casio fans dub this affectionately as the Casio Royale purely because it looks like a watch that Roger Moore had worn. Was it the Seiko G575? Something like that. I think it was a G something sports version, I think. It kind of resembles it. I think a lot of Casio fans were honestly kind of clutching at straws a little bit. They were kind of hoping, they wanted it to look like that because the original Seiko, there's just nothing else like it really. So why isn't this my exit watch? Well, I love the stainless steel band. I think it's actually quite good quality. I do think that the push button release, sometimes when it's actually, let me put this on my wrist, sometimes, there you go, sometimes it doesn't, I'm pressing both buttons in, but it just doesn't come off. There you go. Sometimes it takes a few attempts and I'm just thinking, have I just got a bit of a dodgy model? Am I just, maybe it's a good thing that it's not going to come off my wrist, but then I think, well, it stores a bunch of different times and it's got the world time, it's got a fantastic light on it, really good light. So much better than the F91, but guess what, guys? It doesn't have a steel bezel, so I'm going to have to buy another watch. So this time I go over to, I really go to the past. I love the Moonraker film. James Bond, Roger Moore goes into space, fights Jaws, and it's a fantastic film. Anyway, so I went back to 1979, got in my time machine, and I bought the Seiko M354 5000, one of the rarest, most hard to find, sought after Seiko models. Quartz, still works, 1979, it's still going fine. There was no scratches. There are a few now, of course, but they're quite fine. It's in probably the best condition I've ever seen an M354. When you find them on eBay, they're scratched to hell. Most of them are faulty. This one is borderline brand new, as is the box it came in. Go check out my video on the watch. But why is this not the exit watch? Well, it does everything fine. I have to set the calendar back to the past. I've explained that in another video. But why isn't this the exit watch? Well, it doesn't have any alarms and the battery life is just 2 years. So back to the drawing board I go, back to buy another watch. By this point, I'm getting pretty tired of going back and forth between analog, digital watches. I go for something now that's Steve Jobs won, the Seiko Chariot, limited to 1,000, I always forget this, wish I remembered, 1,982, so the year 1982, that's a reference to. It's just a bit bland. It's such a beautiful, clear, easy to read watch, and it's got a relatively basic quartz movement inside, but it just doesn't. It's quite thin as well. It's quite a slim band, calf leather band. And then I did go through a vegetarian phase, and I was thinking, oh no, I don't really want to be wearing leather if I can help it. Anyway, I kind of worn it anyway. I stopped the vegan, the vegetarianism. Got back to this frame of mind, and I was just coming up with all kinds of excuses to wear the watch, but it just didn't really do it for me. So I thought, right, I need to buy something else. I need an exit watch. So I decided to go back to the G-Shock line. Again, we've got the great 5-second light. You can change it to 3 seconds. You've got stopwatches. You've even got the moon. You've got the tide. It does everything. But then I wear it on my wrist, and I start thinking, actually, it's a little bit thicker than the 5610. It's quite a little bit thicker there. It doesn't have solar power, doesn't have atomic time. Is it any better than this one? And I'm comparing the two G-Shocks, and I'm sitting there comparing them. I'm thinking, well, do you know what? Maybe I need an automatic. So I go back online and I hunt around and around. I look at TGV, pretty famous YouTuber. And then I look at the Long Island watches, and the guy who runs them is fantastic, really nice guy. Check out his videos, but if you do check out his videos, he will just mesmerise you with these watches. And I saw this on his website, Long Island Watches. I saw it on TGV, actually doing a video on how nice and reliable and accurate the Bambino is, and the build quality, the in-house movement. I had to have one, so I ordered it, and it arrived. Had to pay import tax, which was a bit of a sting, but paid it anyway. Had to in order to get the watch, and it was really my watch of leisure, really. I used to wear this when I was sitting at home alone. It wasn't really, I didn't use it as a fashion watch to go out. I had it on 24/7. And then I took it off for maybe 2-3 days, and it actually ran for about 2 days, literally 2 full days off my wrist. I thought that was incredible. On the 3rd day, it did, need to be wound again. And I just thought, man, I need to go back to a solar watch. I don't want my automatics to. I don't want to have to wear them constantly and wind them. Even if I want to take the watch off, maybe I should buy a winder. Anyway, that resulted in me buying the SNE 435. I can't remember the rest of the name for that one. You can check that one on my channel. Was that solar? I'm not sure it was. I can't remember. Anyway, this one is solar powered. This is the SNE 498P1, and this is a throwback to another similar. This is a reimagining of the original Golden Tuner, which Roger Moore wore, and this is the modern reimagining of it. Came out earlier this year, and stainless steel back. They did release a limited titanium version, but it was like £2,000. I thought that was a bit ridiculous. I did put a deposit on it, but I cancelled it and got this one, £360, and it looks just as good. Got the date in a slightly different place at the 4 o'clock mark rather than the 3 o'clock. It's only a date, not a day date. As you can see, solar powered. It's great. But then I thought, well, I've got so many Casios and Digitals, and I like the ability I can actually set an alarm. I do use the alarms pretty much every other day. So as beautiful as this piece is, and it's gold, and it's really, I just think it's a stunning. The shroud is, protects the watch. It can't be the Exit watch. So then I thought, right, and this is the last one, which I've not reviewed yet, but I will review this on the channel. The SUOK 111. This is a swatch, and this is the first swatch I've ever bought, and it'll probably be the last I ever buy as well, because I'd had no clue until I bought this and I started searching around. I didn't do the research. Always do the research, guys. The random ghost. Listen to the tick. Listen to the tick. However loud you think that is on camera, it's even louder in real life. Honestly, guys, seriously. I thought this was my Exit watch. I just thought at this point, you know what, I'll go back to a quartz. Let's forget the whole alarms, let's forget the solar, let's go back to something super basic with a nice bit of colour. This is see-through. It's really, I think it's quite understated. It looks absolutely, but then, well, the other thing, I've not reviewed this watch, but let's go ahead and ruin the review. The band is just a little bit too tough, and you'll see what I mean when you try to put this watch on. It's really difficult, even off camera, when you try to put this watch on and you put this through here. Can't quite get it. There you go. You've got to kind of loop it through, and it's really, really a challenge. It's just a challenge to do. Anyway, so when the watch is on, that's how it looks, and I think it looks. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, guys. I think this looks really nice. The random ghost, the SUOK 111, but that tick, oh my god, it is infuriating, really annoying. So then I start thinking, well, should I just go for, should my exit watch, should it be an automatic, because then you can't hear the tick? But I thought you can't hear the tick on the Orient. You can't hear the tick. Sorry, you can't hear the tick on some of the Casio watches. You can't hear the tick on, another quartz watch, or even the Seiko SNE 498P1. You can't hear the tick on this. Anyway, I decided to go with the timepiece. Let's give this one a shot. It gets rave reviews. People love it for the price, and it's only £15 or $20 watch. So I went to GearBest and I bought this one, and it very nearly was an exit watch, very nearly, apart from the rotating bezel. I don't even know why they bothered rotating this, because you can't take this underwater, despite it saying 30 metres. It's not even a screw down crown, so I wouldn't expect it to be for $20, but why they even made this bezel rotate, they should have just stuck it down at the 12 o'clock mark and just left it, I think, personally. The lume on this is actually, believe it or not, if you shine a torch on it, it's actually pretty good. It was kind of nearly an exit watch. What ruined it for me was the band feels quite cheap around this area here. This is clearly where they've saved the money, for this watch. And then I could have lived with that. What did it for me was the automatic movement was absolutely not a patch on the Orient Bambino. The Bambino, literally, like I said, went for about 48 hours when it was, fully wound up. I assume it's fully wound up anyway, because there's no way of really telling. But the timepiece, it just lasted around about 7 hours, maybe less, maybe even less, I'm not sure. And some people say you should wind it before bed, but seriously, guys, I can't. That one day that you forget to wind it and you wake up and it's stopped at like 3 in the morning, 3 a.m. So this wasn't an exit watch. So the search continues, guys. I'm just going to throw all the watches back in view. The search just continues. Just when you think to yourself, I've actually, I've got an exit watch, you quickly find out that it's not the F91 there. You quickly find out that actually you haven't, got an exit watch, and you end up with all of these watches here, and you just think to yourself, am I ever? There's another one, the 5610, which I originally, thought would be my exit watch. So the search continues, and I do hope to get an exit watch soon, because this doesn't include the watches I've sold. I've sold several, spent well over £1,000, well over on the entire collection, and that includes watches I've sold. So again, I'm on the lookout for an exit watch. It won't be the Swatch, that's for sure. Will it be a Tissot? What will it be? I do not know. But believe me, I'm on the hunt for an exit watch, and tell me if you've got any ideas. Are you going through the same? situation as me, please let me know in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll be back with more reviews. Thanks for watching, guys.